Today is Wednesday, November 15th, 2023, and this is our weekly cult meeting, Wizard Wednesday. Channeling in from the Quantum Downs, this is the Black Goat of the Wood, Elf J Trul, and joining me is...
your best friend, the fuzzy orange puppet Dotta.
And the big fuzzy bear. What's up?
Hey, so much fur. So much fuzz.
So, what's the difference between our fur, actually? 'Cause you're fuzzy
Mine
too.
is,
We're both fuzzy.
yeah, mine is softer, I think.
Is yours synthetic?
No, never.
But you're a puppet.
Grass-fed. Mine's grass-fed.
Oh, okay.
Organic.
I'll tell you the difference, Bear. There was once a bear and a rabbit taking a shit in the woods, and the rabbit says to the bear, "Hey bear, does the poo stick to your fur after you go?" And the bear said, "No." And so then the bear took the rabbit and wiped his ass with it.
I had no idea where that was going.
I gotta run away.
What?
I'm never going to Bear Cave bathroom again.
Dotta, you better watch out, buddy.
I think I messed up that joke though. I think it's the bear who says to the rabbit, "Does it stick to your fur?" Anyway, whatever. We've got a huge show today. What a week! It has just been honestly one of my favorite weeks in the Runiverse. What do you guys think?
I love it. I've never been more excited about Forgotten Runes and where we're going.
Seriously.
We have a freaking video game, and people are playing as their NFTs, and it's fun, and a million other things I can't even think of right now.
It's a good game. It's a good game. Everybody says it's good. I think it's good. I really haven't seen a single person say this game sucks. I haven't seen really any criticisms at all.
Well, I've seen some criticisms, but I ignore them. I've mostly seen people who love it. I've had actually a lot of people who even come out of the woodwork who like don't need to say nice things. They're like, "Hey, the game is fun," and I think, I'm totally biased, but I feel that the game has a bit of an X factor. So that just makes it really fun to play.
It does. It's got like a je ne sais quoi to it.
I agree, but I do think let's listen. I'm so excited, but there's absolutely things that can help improve. I don't want to stand up here and say the game is perfect. There's a ton of room for improvement, but I, I think to come out of the gate like this with a pre-alpha demo is just so exciting. It's so hard to have the first baby step go so well, and so for me
Yeah.
that's what's exciting.
And
Yeah.
huge props to the Bisonic team for putting this all together, right? To Geldor, to actually I don't know everyone's
Danilo.
aliases, but Danilo, to everyone who's kind of been involved, to keeping the servers running. That first day the servers were crashing so much and that's just like how it goes with on the first day of a popular MMO. And the thing is that it did persist all week, right? The servers have been up and running really, really well, and then there were some issues with bots, and they dealt with them. There were some issues with mana, and they were generously gave everyone extra, right? So not only have they shipped the game, but they've been working late hours, and been on the ball, right? Been able to fix things really, really quickly. And so I think that's also just a promise of kind of the things to come, like just how much better this game is going to be in a year from now. They're just executing at a really high level, and I'm very, very proud of that team.
I would like to echo that. Bisonic has just really blown me away. Just super talented game developers. The pre-alpha was so much fun, and yeah, I agree, Bear. This is just the pre-alpha. There's definitely a lot that is going to be, let's just say, updated and improved. But I mean, that's kind of the point. This is just a pre-alpha. It's like a super simple version of the game, and yet it's just still so much fun. And I was talking to Tanilo yesterday, I think it was. Homeboy is exhausted. He has been just pulling long hours on this pre-alpha. Bless Tanilo. But I'll say he was telling me about just new features and new things that are going to make it into the full game. And the whole time he was talking, I was just like, man, the cult loves this version. Just wait until they see what's coming. The full map, all the creatures, all the new equipment, tons of new features that haven't even been talked about. I mean, I'm just so bullish on this game. And I'll tell you what I'm looking most forward to: getting some land and building my little house. Um, and so that actually leads me to my first question for you guys. Oh, Matto's here. Matto, you can answer this question too. Where in the Runiverse do you want to build your house?
I want to build it next to Quantum Shadow. That seems like a real cool place.
Same, dude.
Seems like
What
a
is
pretty cool
wrong
place
with
to hang
you?
out.
Next to the quantum shadow, that's dangerous.
It sounds cool. What? You can like venture around through your backyard a little, have a little adventure, maybe not come back. Sounds great.
Yeah, agree. Or maybe the Thorn. I was actually quite fond of the Swamp in the pre-alpha. I thought that was a cool place. But yeah, Bear, I think I know your answer.
I
Dream
gave my
Master Lake.
Yeah, I gave my answer like 2 years ago. I am going to be perched at Dream Master Lake. I'm gonna have a nice dock. I'm gonna be feeding all of the flora and fauna that come up to me, and everybody's welcome. But don't be rude, or else you're never gonna be reinvited. But we're gonna have a little Runiverse getaways at my compound in Dream Master Lake.
Dotta, what about you?
Oh, I want to be at the hedge. Dota is a hedge wizard, and I think I want to be near the beginner areas so that way I can look over all the new little entrants into the Runiverse, and I can step out of my house, stretch my arms, and greet them, encourage them as they defeat their first bosses. So yeah, that's where I want to be.
Dota would come in every morning. I spoke to you the other day, Dota, and you were like, "I've just been in the Runiverse, sitting where everybody spawns, kissing babies."
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. I just hang out at the spawn point. I tell everybody hi by name if I can. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
It's been so much fun. And so we have a ton of questions about the Runiverse game today. I'm going to try to hit all of them, but I want to start out just right away with probably some of the most important information about the game right now. Um, Folks, the countdown has begun. There are less than 24 hours until this pre-alpha closes. Um, so, I think the thing that everybody really wants out of this pre-alpha is a plot of land. And I've been watching everybody over the week. So many of you have just been diligently grinding to secure land plots. And if you don't know, um, basically you're guaranteed to get a plot of land after spending enough mana to get 250 blessings in the game. So if you do that, it's automatic land for you. uh, there is a possibility that you can get lucky and obtain land before 250, but 250 is a guarantee. And so like I said, you have less than 24 hours to do that, to grind to 250 or get lucky before that. And listen, if you don't get a plot of land, it's still worth grinding, I think, because along the way, you'll be getting quantum gifts for every 10th blessing. So that means like special equipment and mounts and familiars. So even if you're just starting today, you can get those things. So grind away. You have until 1 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Um, I think this is going to lead me into the first question from Bill Gaines, which is, Dota, how come you haven't hit level 15 yet?
Wait, are you level 15?
I am.
What? You're level 50. No wonder you haven't been getting anything done this week.
I've been grinding, dog.
Hello?
We
Yeah,
can
we can
hear
hear
you.
you. Yeah.
Okay. Are you level 15?
Dota went deaf as soon as he heard you were on level
Oh,
15.
sorry.
Yes, Dota, I am level 15. I
Oh,
agree.
man. Bear, there's no way you're level 15.
I'm level 25.
Ah, man. Okay.
No,
Well,
I'm level nothing. I've got my back went out, and also I have a job. What the like? You guys are talking about like trading and playing video
oh,
games all
that's a
day. I'm
cop out.
working, homies.
That's a cop out.
That
This
is a
game is
cop
your
out.
job.
It's zero
For
cop out.
Just
to,
sit in
Zero
the
to
cop
hospital
out.
Dota's
with your
credit,
iPad.
Bro, I did not
to
realize that
Dota's credit, I
Bearsnake
saw
spoke bitch so fluently. That's
Right?
crazy.
so true.
You wouldn't expect
Youch.
it, but there it is.
To
Wow.
Hey,
Dota's
All
I'm
right,
credit,
all
level.
right, all right. I'm about to tweet my back. I'm gonna tweet my MRI. Ready? Hold up.
I
I
have I have
I'm level
two
14.
bad viz,
I
Bearsnake. Don't even start with me on this shit, bro. Let's not even get into this. I'm
Yeah,
changing
but
my
we're running a
password just to
company.
clown on you.
But we're running a company, so it's different.
I have two companies. What the fuck are you talking about?
Then what the
Hi,
hell are you doing
Flu.
playing video games?
I
Oh
hire
man, the
good
vibe.
people. I hire good people and I let them work and I sit back and I take like a couple meetings a
Oh
week.
man.
Work smarter, not harder, Bearsnake. Come on, bro.
that's
I'm
the
here to
CEO
promote your
lifestyle right there.
game, dude. I'm here to blow up your bags. Like that's what my
Uh,
job is to make good relationships with other people so that I can go ahead and like have that sort of freedom.
So I'm level 14, and I think that's pretty good. That's only one level
yeah,
less than 15. That's pretty close.
I was gonna say to Dota's credit, I saw last night when I logged in, I saw you at the Gold Canyon and you were grinding away at level 14. So
Exactly.
you're
Doda,
there.
Doda, you're doing well,
Yeah.
bro. Don't listen to anybody else.
I'm trying to look for I'm trying to build the gold the scythe. How do you say that word? The scythe.
Like,
And I
yeah,
need, and I need more cunning ember. Where do I get cunning ember?
yeah. Those are best farm from the cannon because the enemies that spawn on Gold Canyon, they don't really drop that many of them. The cannon drops like the most of it. That's why people just like team up and camp cannons there.
So somebody's got to team up with me tonight, and maybe in like
Yeah.
5 hours, and help me beat the cannon because I need to get that scythe.
I will team up with you, Doda, and we will stream
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Cannon camping tonight.
For promotional use, Bearsnake.
Okay, we have a ton of questions. I want to make sure to get all of them. So another question, Thread is just simply asking, why game go away? Matto, do you want to tell us why the pre-alpha has to end?
Yes, yes. So we're very thrilled about the reception that we've had so far. We actually like I've been playing nonstop too. I've been like weaving between like helping with the Discord and like playing game. I don't want to go away either. I think in the team, like we're really happy that there's so many people who want to continue playing. But right now, like we're pulling in like all of our resources to keep it up right now. Like we literally have like artists that are like not doing art because they're like helping moderate the Discord, right? So it's like and actually like part of that is I actually want to point out that one of our artists actually did like some sketches for some wizards and some cult members in the Discord who were being very helpful. I'll probably post that later in the main Discord, but I thought that was really nice of them. But anyway, so we have like all of our resources tied up right now, and like as much as we want to keep it going, like everyone's kind of we're running overtime, and we're all pushing to end, and we can't keep the game developing like to the next stages. Like we have so much more planned, right? And like in order to reach the scope of those plans, we have to like wind down. We have to get like a little break from this event, take all the feedback that we got from it. Where can we improve on it? Where should we focus more on? And then like move on to build the next build. So we have like a nice alpha and beta that we have planned for you guys before the full release. And we want to get to making those. So like expanding more on the experience. If you love this experience, you're gonna love even more what we have planned, but we got to get to making it.
Waz just had a really good idea, and he said that we should do a group photo. So where should
Yeah.
we have it? At the font of memory or at the spawn point? Where should we go?
Spawn point.
The spawn point is more spacious. The font of memory is
Okay,
a bit congested.
everybody, follow me. Go to the spawn point.
Wait,
We're
you're
gonna
doing
take
it right now?
Well,
Yeah,
it'll
Wizard
take everybody a
Wednesday.
minute. We'll do it in a few minutes, right? Yeah.
Okay, everybody log in.
And head over to the spawn point. There's more room there, and we'll take a group photo in a few minutes.
That's a really good idea, Waz. Okay, hold on. Let me just get in there real quick. I'm walking the wrong way. You know what, let me put out another question while I'm walking. Oh, so Cheddar Bob is asking, strictly looks-wise, what is your favorite wizard you saw in the game? And don't say all of them. Cheddar Bob, obviously the goat wizards are among my favorite because obviously they just look the coolest. I will say that when I saw the headless wizard walking around, I felt like I saw a celebrity.
Yep.
um, I'm amazed that they got the headless wizard in there because you know it, like there's probably some technical difficulty getting a headless character in this game, but they did it, and it's so cool to see the headless wizard in there.
I don't know how many times we've like built something for the wizards and then the headless wizard fails, right? It's like for the walk cycle bot, for the 3D bot, for the 3D page. It's like every time we do anything, the headless wizard jacks it up, and then also Toru, because Toru has no body. Toru's just a head.
Yeah, Toru is also a pain. Okay, I'm sitting at the portal. I don't see a lot of people here yet, but we'll let it fill up for a while.
I really like Nikata's model. The gold skeleton. When I saw him, I felt like
yeah.
the animations on that are so good. I got to party up with him. There was some screenshots. It was me and Orbis partied up with him, and it just like so good seeing the skeleton in motion and seeing it do all of its animations and spell casting. It looks so badass.
Totally agree. Yeah, the skeleton wizards are super cool. Okay. Okay. A lot of people are asking about like game stats and numbers, and to be honest, I don't know how much of this data is collected. Like Feckless is asking, what's the fastest cannon kill, or the fastest to level 15, or who crafted the most items? Maddo, do you guys know any of that stuff?
I don't think we have metrics that deep. I think, keep in mind, this is a pre-alpha build. Like a lot of stuff was kind of like pushed out for this specific build, kind of like in the closed environment, and not like with the idea of like, scaling it further because like, this is just for this window of opportunity. So we don't have metrics that deep. We do have like some metrics like, concurrent users. And also, if you notice, people ask like, oh, what are the gold rewards that we get for like, for slaying the bosses? Like, they're not used for anything in crafting. And it's like, yeah, in this build they're not, but what they are useful for is we can track in your inventories like how many monsters you slayed from that. So how many bosses were slayed and who slayed them. We got that information just based off of the drops because they're in your inventory. So that's cool. I think we want to release some numbers at the end of this event. I don't know how deep we're going to go into those metrics. But we're going to release some broad numbers. I think it's very successful. We're very happy internally. It kind of blew our expectations internally of what this event was going to be. So we're very happy for that. And
yeah,
I'd also say like when it comes to metrics, it's like some of the cool things you guys were comparing it to were like numbers of concurrent users in like older established games that have been around for a while. And I really feel like I really did not expect it to be where it's at, I guess is what I would say. And I'm not saying that to like drive speculation. It's like it's like it's important to like how you convey numbers and all that stuff as a company. And so we'll have to like figure out how and how we want to do that and when we do it. But like I think it'd be fair to say that we were all like shocked at how well it's been performing.
Right.
Yeah.
And then,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, like, despite like, I think the expectation was maybe we had like a huge like entry, like, break down the door, and then like after that bum rush, like, it died down. But it's actually been the opposite. Actually, we've been like gaining lots of engagement interaction since then, and like we actually reached like peak numbers, like kind of day after day, we keep reaching higher peaks. So very good.
Yeah.
It's really, really surprising.
That's crazy. Like the numbers have actually been growing. You can even see. So some of the stuff that I think we can talk about is on chain, right? So like the you can see, for example, the amount of mana that was bought on chain. So I don't mind sharing those numbers. We're going to defer to Bisonic a little bit to like, which parts they want to share in terms of like internal game metrics. But today was actually the biggest day for the amount of mana actually sold. Here, this is all on chain, so it's public data, and I'll share actually in the Secret Tower a dashboard that I've been working on. but they've sold like about 133 ETH in terms of mana over these past 7 days, which is like really good. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about the Pixels game. So Pixels Online, I'm sure you guys have seen that on Twitter. They've also had some really good success and also launched around the same time, I think about a week ago, or they launched an update. I'm not exactly sure of the dates there, but
No, they launched like a year ago, I think, but then they moved to Ronin very recently.
yeah. So they moved to Ronin, and I saw a tweet going around, I think yesterday, saying like, "Oh, here's the contracts for the amount of money that they've made." And it was less than what we've done in mana. And so, I think the group can kind of decide how you feel about revenue as a metric. I think that for me, it points to this idea that like, well, there's a revenue model for NFT projects that's not just like inflating the collection. And very, very, very few projects have something like that. And especially when you have a game that's fun, that's web based, that like we haven't even started this idea of like user acquisition, right? Of like bringing new people into the game who just want to like play a fun game, right? This was literally just like we tweeted it out to our friends and people in crypto Twitter. The market for this game is massive, and so I think those numbers on mana are promising with regards to the idea that like you can make a crypto game that people want to play and are willing to like spend money on, and you can have like a sustainable business, which is great for the brand. It's great for the brand all around, and it was growing. It wasn't just like the biggest first day.
That's what's so cool is it's and Matto, maybe I don't know if you can speak to it, but it's just right now it's just off of like the reputation of Wizards, and it's growing organically. I mean, the game is a Web3 game, like clothed in Web2. And so what's cool about Bisonic is they have like decades of experience not only developing games but publishing them. And so when I get excited about, okay, well, imagine when like Maddow, you and the team get to point your guns at like actual proper real user acquisition funnel, running ads and all the ways that like traditional Web2 games get people to play. Like when we can start doing that, like holy smokes. And then like there's like and I don't want to get anyone in trouble, but then there's like whispers about like us getting this thing to work properly on mobile. Like all of a sudden, like the funnel for people to find us just gets so huge. So like I just look at this, like we look at this little test case, and then you like layer in these other elements. It just gets so exciting, and it's just also being like first to market. People are running around. I did not know how powerful it would be to see people and be running around with your wizard skin. There's just something to it.
Yep. My kids even see it too. Like all of my kids have asked me uh, to get their wizard in the game. Oh man, this is my first time seeing an Illuminatus head in game on my server. It looks incredible. Wow, I have not seen this yet. Plus the pumpkin head, unbelievable. Um,
Yep.
my kids have been playing the game too, and they love it, and that's really fun. Like my kids
It's
love whatever
fun
we
for all
do.
ages.
Yeah, my kids love whatever we do, but like they're not necessarily into a game that bores them, regardless, even if I make it. And so it's been a really promising signal that like kids can play this game and it's still fun. And
Yep. So to answer Feckless and then Entropy, you guys' question about numbers, basically the numbers have been better than expected, and I think Bisonic will probably release what they're comfortable with in the next few days. Um, okay. A lot of people are asking about land. Crucifor is asking basically who gets an airdrop. Is it wizard holders? Is it ring holders? And then Kobe system is basically asking just basically about details of the first land mint. I don't know if Matto or Dotta or anyone
yeah,
can
we
speak to
haven't
that.
announced any plans for any kind of like free mint, and I think that like it's up in the air the degree to which that will or won't happen. I would say your safest bet is to not expect it, because what we've done is baked a lot of wizard benefits into the game. So, for example, we've talked about that wizards will be able to build like special buildings that kind of get you a fraction of the gold within the economy. one of the things that's different with this kind of game versus, like, let's say a normal 10K collection or like just a higher level collection is that basically the plots represent like a specific place in the game. And when we do this, we're trying to release the number of plots that like people can actually play and actually use. So I wouldn't expect an airdrop as part of this, and we'll talk more about wizard benefits as we get closer.
Yeah.
I was just
gonna,
okay. Yeah,
Yep.
LorePunk's asking, saying, "Oh, we had a contest during the Lightning Frog, and I won land. As did a few others. Does that still count?" Yes, of course, of course. Like if we run
Yes,
like contests or marketing, those, yes, there will be things that happen there.
Sorry, Matt, were you going to say something?
Oh yes, I was gonna say that. Yeah, kind of like adding to that. One of the focuses that we want to have, because people were kind of asking like, oh, why aren't Seal 10 years tradable? We want to make sure that like when you have land, like you have something with it, right? Like, or at least it's close enough to like in a period where you have something for it. We don't want to just like have out land for people and it's like, all right, but you're not going to be able to do anything with this until 4 months down the line or whatever, or 3 months down the line, or whenever we have it, right? So we want to make sure that when you have it, it's something that you're getting because you know what you can do with it, right? Like it's not just like, oh, I read the right paper and I kind of have an idea. Like it's like, no, you'll be able to have in game, you'll know what you'll be able to do with it. So it makes sense to purchase it. Similar to what we do with like the rings, like we had them right before. And right when you got into the game, you got to kind of feel like, do I need a ring or not, right? And then you can get it off of secondary if you wanted to, right? Because it was like right there. We didn't want to have the rings like 2 weeks out ahead, and then you don't even know what it does really, So
Also, just as a side note on that, something that was a mistake that DeFi Kingdoms made is they put out land, and then there was no trading volume on the land, and so they were transferable, but nothing ever happened as far as trading volume, and then they never actually ended up doing the land mint, because at that point they had lost control over the pricing or value proposition of the land. And so yeah, it's something that as soon as you do that, as soon as you give that transferability, you give the proper self ownership of, you're actually giving up too much control of a game economy whenever land is supposed to be so important to the overall economics of the game, and so you want to be extremely cautious with that.
Exactly. You really only get like one shot. And the other part too is this game, there's 70,000 plots of land, and we're not going to sell them all at once, right? We tend to kind of like have land sales for the next 5 years, 10 years or something. And so this idea is like we want to have like be careful about the rate at which we release them. But like you said, as soon as the first round is released, you lose a bit of control over the pricing, because if you can't sell a mint if everyone can just buy it cheaper on secondary, and then all the people who have it on secondary aren't always keen on you having a mint because they feel like it's this like supply hanging over them. And so really the only way to thread that needle is to make a game that everyone loves, that's like super fun, and you like want to keep the land because you want to own it to play, right? And so that's really what we're aiming for. Like we're not optimizing for speculation, we're optimizing for having this game that you have this game asset that you have ownership over, and can trade, but really ultimately you want to play the game. All the mechanics that we have around the land are designed for people who play the game.
Right, and I think we saw that with the rings too. Like there were people who they mentioned like, "Hey, I got the ring," because I was like expected to just like flip it like right after. But like I played the game, and like I wanted to keep the ring because it was fun. Like I wasn't expecting the game to be fun when I got in, and that's what we want. Like we're confident enough in the experience that we're making that we want to make it so that people who are getting it, they're gonna want to get the land. But we don't want to sell them the land before they even know if they want it, right? Like we know that when they get the foot in the door, they're gonna want it and they're gonna want to get it. So.
Justin thinks there's only one instance of the training room, and so he thinks we might all be able to go to the training room and load into one instance.
Okay.
Is this true? Is this true?
I do not know the mechanics of it. We can try. I mean, I think we're in different instances of the starting point. Wait, no, I see Wazir here. Where are you, Dotta? I think like everyone is in this instance. Like
I don't know. I'm gonna go check the training point.
Yeah, let's go to the training. Okay, everybody move to the training room and let's see if that's true. Watch us crash the servers right now. It's like unintended that it's like unintended that it's like the same instinct. It's like, yeah, let's just all bum rush it.
Let's go crash the server.
This is like the March of the Ents, bro.
Magic.
The March of the Ents. The Ents going to war.
All right, hold on. I'm walking over there. So Night Owl Birdman was asking about bots. If we've had to ban any bots. Oh wow, the training room is very full.
Oh, that's lit. Yeah, that's
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Amazing.
lit. All
Yeah.
right.
Everybody stop talking because like your word balloons are blocking people.
Who's getting the screen
Yeah, this is
screen
amazing.
recording? Okay, I'm gonna
This is funny.
screen record. Yeah.
Great.
Very good.
But Matto, can you talk to? Do you know any bot activity? Can you speak on it or?
Yeah. I mean, and I think people were like also worried too because they were like, oh no, like I've been like passively farming, like just kind of like while I do other stuff, and like some people like made auto clickers and stuff. I mean, like, the intention is like we want to make sure that we're kind of like getting people who are very obviously like taking advantage of the system and like making it unfair to other players because like they're straight up like with like a party of 4 bots, they're just like it's like getting all the bosses on the map or whatever, right? And so like that's kind of stuff we're like looking for, like they're there for like 20 hours straight or whatever. So like there have been instances we actually have been like giving out some bans. And I think once we actually announced that we we were doing bans, a lot of people kind of like pulled back a bit. Because there were people who just realized that we were on the prowl. And then we sent out earlier today, and we made an announcement that we sent out like pretty much like some GMs. So we had some game masters go in, and the Runiverse Bot, the Runiverse police come in, and they're
Oh no, I accidentally muted everyone trying to mute myself. Sorry, Matto. You
Damn
said
it,
Runiverse
Dotta.
it's
Police.
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, the Runiverse Police. Yeah, they're I think they've been making their rounds. There have been bans. I don't know the exact numbers or anything. Like, actually, I'm not privy on like too much about what's been happening in terms of ban side. But I know they have been like monitoring and like they've been looking at they've been taking reports from the community. And just trying to make it fair. We're trying to keep with the idea. This is like pre-alpha, so like a lot of like there's a lot of systems that are definitely like exploitable and like we kind of know that, right? But that's not really the intent of this. Like this build isn't intended to be like a fully solid build that's like impenetrable or anything. So we're definitely gonna have, and we're also using it like it helps us stress test. It helps us realize like what points should we, or when we do get to those later builds, what points were weaknesses that bots kind of like took advantage of, and how can we improve on those? So very helpful in general. And I think it's hasn't seemed like it's made that much of an impact when we look at the numbers of like how many like sealed tenures were granted and stuff. So it seems like we're doing a pretty good job at curbing it to the point where it doesn't seem like they're hoarding all of the resources from everybody, so nobody else can get any of the good prizes.
Okay, I'm seeing a question from Entropy that I missed. Was there any big surprises from the team, the pre-alpha? Any unexpected player behavior? Basically, just what surprised you most? I'll give my answer for this. I gotta say, I totally underestimated how much our community is into gaming. Full stop. um, like it's just I'm just so amazed at like how just how hard everybody's been grinding. People are like publishing their own maps. I'm seeing people like publish spreadsheets on data analytics of the game, and the Discord has just been more alive than I've seen it in a year, just like a full 24/7. I underestimated how much you guys are into gaming, and I underestimated how much I myself would like the game. I mean, I hit level 15 before Bear and Dotta did. It's such a fun game, and yeah, those were my two big, I guess, unexpected discoveries. What about you guys?
I don't know. I expected it to be good. I don't know. Bear, Matto.
I think for me it was, and we kind of already touched on it. I think the typical sort of cycles for um, these kinds of things are like they start really strong and then they kind of like erode. Like you start with momentum and then it sort of dies, right? And that's kind of, you mint an NFT and it usually just goes down, at least initially. And so for me to sort of track the usage and to see concurrent users going up like daily, I think that was one of the biggest surprises. And then also I think just uh, I feel like, I mean, one of the goals for us always as like a company is to like sort of touch that like inner child, right? Like hit that nostalgia button for everyone. Um, and I don't think I expected it to work so well like off the rip. Like just going through my timeline, I tried to like curate a following that isn't just like our little like bubble of wizards. And it was just I was just really surprised to see. I knew the game was gonna be decent, at least its first demo, but I didn't think it was gonna be received this well. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think part of it too, one of the things that I love is that we're like being part of the like wider crypto Twitter narrative, right? Ultimately, our ambitions are to be this like global brand in a global game. But I think it always like a massive fire starts with a little fire. And so, for whatever reason, there are times where we don't make it as part of the current meta, and in this part we like clearly are, right? So I think, for example, having Wiley post that we were his like favorite non-yuga project right as the same week that we drop a game, right as like gaming NFTs are the like current meta. I think all of that, the stars aligned, and then like all of a sudden we have everyone's attention, right? And so you've seen that in the Discord. You've seen like I've lost track of how many apes have come into the Discord and be like, okay, I saw the tweet, I'm like getting my first PFP, and like tons of new folks have come into the Discord just every single day. And so I love that, right? Like I think we've all felt that the last 6 months to a year have been a bit cold, and it's just this like you start off being like, it's always like this. We know that there's going to be a bear market. It's always like this. Just keep your chin up. And then it's like you're getting colder and colder and colder, and then you start to get this kind of like you sort of forget the feeling of what it feels like to have the mood really really warm. And so even when it's like kind of cold outside still, you can still find that like there's a warm fireplace with forgotten runes, right? And you can come in here and we're all having a fun time, we're creating, we're playing a game, we're just like doing our thing, we're like living our dream. And so I think that's been the most like not surprising thing, but it's like the timing was surprising, right? It's like you always know that we'll get here, that's the goal. But like it, then when it gets here, you're like, okay, that's surprising that this is when that was going to happen.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, go for
uh,
it, Meadow.
I think the thing that surprised me the most was there was actually a decent amount of players that actually seem like they're not into crypto or NFTs. And I know that because like I've had some DMs as the community manager, like some people I've like, and people I've had like discussions with in the game, like kind of like while waiting for bosses, I would have discussions with people. And there's quite a few who actually surprisingly, they were like, hey, like, like I like this game is really cool. Like I'm not even into like crypto or anything, but this is like really fun. And they're not like they're the kind of people who are like kind of crypto adjacent. Like, they're not like anti crypto or anything. They kind of know the space, but they haven't really dived in. But they saw this cool game, and I think a lot of it there was like some streamers who kind of like put it up on Twitch, and I think like a lot of some of their viewer bases jumped in. But yeah, it was really cool. I actually made some friends with people who were like not into the crypto scene at all. They seemed really cool. They kind of were more interested. They were like your wizard character is cool. Like I can understand like people when I see like they feel FOMO seeing people walking around with like these wizard avatars, but like they just have like the regular basic gear, and it's like I can understand why people would pay like a premium to walk around as like a cool unique wizard or whatever. So that was really cool for me. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that
Mhm.
was another thing that surprised me too. Is that like, what surprised me was one, uh, how many non-wizards there were walking around. Right, that like every time I'd show up, there was lots of people who were not wizards walking around, and that two, any time of day that I logged on all week, even day 3, day 4, uh, there was a wizard playing the game. And so that I was also surprised that not only were there so many non-wizards, but that also I could come in at any time of day and see someone who was wearing a wizard as well. And so that just felt like really, really good because, like Bear was alluding to, there's also this aspect that's like, from my perspective, which is like, well, a lot of people are going to come for the first day, but they're not going to come back because everyone wants to try something new. And that hasn't been the case at all. The retention numbers have actually been like ridiculous, like out of this world in terms of retention. And so that's just been surprising in a good way. Flu, you've got your hand up. Hey.
I very rarely put my hand up, but whenever I ask legitimate questions, I like to. So, one thing that I would say for that, I've onboarded probably 8 different people that are not typically into crypto into this game. And one thing that I would say that would help going forward is some sort of an invite thing, like what Final Fantasy 14 does, or the new Polya game does, or whatever. Just like some cosmetics that, like, community hub people like that or streamers could have to encourage that is not necessarily formed around any sort of crypto stuff, not formed around NFTs, but maybe just cosmetics or titles or things like that.
Yes.
One of the
I can
great
actually-
things. Oh, please go ahead,
sorry.
Matto.
Yeah, I'm going to speak to this because actually, yeah, we have actually talked. Flu is right on the money because actually we've talked about this. Sorry, I just so yeah, we have actually had discussions about this. It actually, because we weren't expecting this pre-alpha to be so huge, right? We kind of were expecting like the smaller scale. For our next build, we were planning on doing that, and then we recognized like in the middle of this, like, yeah, we should have had some kind of like invite incentive because like it would have been like really cool. But also we were just being like so hammered in the beginning that maybe it would have been for the best because we had so much influx of
You would have
activity.
gotten fucked. You would have gotten absolutely
Yeah.
fucked. if you had done
But
that.
we're 100% aligned with that. Yeah, we want to do like invite incentives so that way people like they share it more with their friends and everyone's rewarded for it. We just didn't have the time or really like the scope of this build didn't really align for that, and it was already pushing to its seams. So we're doing good.
And then the other thing that I would say is, do you guys have plans to implement friends lists and also prioritization of friends winding up in the same servers, or like if they're in a party, make sure that they're always in the same instance, things of that nature?
100%. I mean, like there's a lot of social stuff that we feel like we should have had like right out the gate, which is like like kind of a global chat or like party chats. But like I said, like the scope of this was more like kind of like focused on like the combat and the crafting and such. The social stuff like we're obviously gonna have later, but like this build was very, very specifically geared towards showcasing the core mechanics. So I mean, like we're glad about like however like all these ideas people are bringing up to the table. Like a lot of it's stuff that's actually like planned out for later. It's just that this was really supposed to be like a demo, like a very, very early demo. So we're excited to bring out, and that's also why we have to close it because we want to build out those features to show people like, yeah, we have all these in mind, but we got to get there.
What's up,
Matto,
LorePunk?
when more game?
Win more game, yeah. After we have a break and we kind of look over the feedback, we'll be able to have a better timeline. But there's no way we can figure that out now because we're gonna take all the feedback and see what we have to focus on, and plan out how long it's gonna take to implement.
Guys, don't worry. I'm gonna hack their system and I'm gonna put the build up.
I know. I want more game too.
LorePunk, hello.
Hi, everybody. I did come in here to kind of start screeching about please extend the game for another week because I have a full-time job. I have a more than full-time job plus all of my other jobs. And all I have wanted to do all week is grind the Runiverse. I have had several nights with not enough sleep because all I wanted to do is grind the universe. I'm so bad at these sorts of things. It takes me a while. I don't understand this stuff. My brain is geared for poems, but it's like it's great. It's got the feel of when I was a kid playing Final Fantasy VII or
Yes.
Zelda or Pokemon. It's got the feel of it. The maps are great. The enemies are great. The dialogue is hilarious. Whoever the writer is, chef kiss, absolutely hilarious. I actually want to play it. I actually want to grind. You got it. You got it. You've got the magic in it. I am so proud of you. I am so proud to be a member of this community. And all of the enemies are so gorgeous. I don't know if Elf drew the enemies or Bisonic did, but they 100% all look like elf beasts and
It was all
enemies.
by Sonic.
Man, they're amazing. Well, they got his style, so perfect. So I just really wanted to to say all of this to you. I'm looking forward to coming up with my own place and my own NPCs and stuff. And I'm not going to have nearly as many land deeds or presents as y'all, because I've been I've been writing articles all week, like 3 or 4 days some days. And so I just have so much self-pity, but just congratulations. I think we're at an inflection point with Web3 gaming. I've just had a briefing for a pitch from another gaming company that's doing something really, really similar in a very different style in terms of really focusing on gameplay. I think we're at an inflection point where everyone's like, no, we cannot just make a grinder for people to grind, just to make money. It has to be fun to play. But I see room for former Axie scholars to come and do this, and I also see room for RPG fans, for metaverse fans, and for Runiverse fans. So yep. And rant. Mad applause.
LorePunk, I love the part you said about the inflection point, because that's a comment that I've been seeing a lot this week, which is people saying something along the lines of, "This is what Web3 gaming is supposed to be like. This is a real Web3 game. This it doesn't just feel like some shovelware blockchain game. It feels like a true Web3 game," and that's very exciting. It's just a really good compliment when I read those things. We've got other people up on stage. If you guys want to speak, then just raise your hand. But if you don't, you're welcome to just chill.
I've got to get back down in the audience because I have to get back to work. But
Okay, well, thank you for coming up. Julian, hello.
A man wearing a metal helmet and an eye patch approaches the front of the crowd. Yes, Julian Tryhard.
He always builds suspense.
Interdimensional investigator of collectible curiosities, relic recovery, and occult occurrences.
Getting the mic
currently
ready.
exploring the amazing world known as the Runiverse. Thank you for welcoming me to join you.
Hello, a man with an eye patch.
Yes. Well, please allow me to first take this opportunity to address a terrible rumor going around about myself. I would like everyone here to know that my participation in the Black Sands Mecha Pony racing did not involve the kidnapping of a baby wizard. Yes, the reported sighting of me galloping around clutching a magically inclined child is true. However, it was all simply a misunderstanding. The boy agreed to accompany me on the race, which was a requirement according to Black Sand, under a tentative understanding that I could help him satisfy some incomprehensible craving for a jelly donut. My goodness, was he annoying. Every stop I made, I heard, "Donut, I want a jelly donut." Well, you can imagine how even more frustrating I was to find out the whole situation was seemingly every shop in the Runiverse is sold out of specifically jelly donuts. And for what? I do not understand or really care, but my patience was tested. So, we parted ways after I told him some shadowy hat group must have stolen them all. I'm sure the boy is fine, probably. I left him at the Cobalt Crossroad. I figure if he couldn't hitch a ride elsewhere, he'd be able to fit in just fine with those odd little creatures there. I mean, he's about the same size, although not the right color. Anyway, I did not even finish that Mecha Pony race. Lately, I've been caught up in exploring all this world has to offer, and I must say, it all has left me quite tired. In fact, my fingers still hurt from constructing and then immediately deconstructing an abundance of, well, mostly farm tools and clothing in order to accumulate this mystical energy you call mana. Then I pretty much just offered up at a strange altar, and the next thing I know, I am surrounded by a pile of raw materials. It is a repetitive cycle, but every so often I am bestowed with one of these fascinating quantum gifts. My understanding is some of these gifts contain a coveted seal of tenure, a deed to a plot of land. For those of us with but a wisp of ETH to our name, there is a tremendous amount of manual labor involved in this process. Alas, after 39 blessings at the font of memory, perhaps yours truly is not meant to be an aspiring slumlord. But I believe I am still, dare I say, early. I'll have to take my chances trying to obtain the other 68,999 plots that have yet to become available. But one thing I was expecting for an event of this particular nature was that one could find a notice posted somewhere that disclosed a participant's actual odds of obtaining certain prizes. I can only assume the chances of finding a seal are minuscule, especially considering what I have heard in the tavern about other wizards' experiences with blessings. I do hope for some clarity on this topic when I come back for future visits. Will you post such information moving forward?
1 in 250, bro. It was everywhere.
Ah, but my understanding were there were odds for those of us who wouldn't make it to 250 that, perhaps there was a chance we could be bestowed with such a blessing. I am not one of the lucky few this time around, but
The odd is always 1 in 250. It's an equal odd every time. We can go through some rudimentary math classes later, Julian. I can help you out with that one.
I will say,
Matto, do you know the chances? Is it like?
Yeah, I have the chance. Hold on, let me pull up. We posted it on our blog post actually. Hold on, let me pull up the exact odd. Yeah, it's hold on, one moment.
While Matto's looking that up, Julian, I just want to say that I feel your pain on Wizard Babies and Donuts. I actually own the Dotta Wizard Baby, and he is insatiable. So I hear you, man.
well, perhaps I'll have a chance to try one of those coveted donuts at some other point. But I will say, don't get me wrong, I very much enjoyed my time in the Runiverse here, and forgive me if I had missed some blog post with this information, but I very much like what you've put together, and I will return, I assure you. In fact, I was stunned to learn that the number of hedge wizards simply willing to teach any random stranger their most dangerous spells. I am quite powerful in this realm, I will say, much greater in sorcery prowess than I expected. It's thrilling.
Amazing. No, you're good, Julian. I actually just looked and I double checked. You're right. I don't think we actually have the probability of getting a tenure. We just have the breakdown of what your probabilities are once you get a tenure, which is like 89% or homesteads, and then 9% if you get a settlement, 0.92% per village, etc. So I'll look around. I'll see if maybe we have like that number somewhere, but I don't think we actually posted that. So you're good actually. We haven't really posted that.
Oh, fair enough. You know, as they say, curiosity killed the kobold, as they say. So I will keep my eye on things, and again, we'll look very much to returning and perhaps even learning some new spells when they do become available. So keep up the excellent work, and I'll be watching. Thank you.
We will meet again, Julian. Thank you so much.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, we've only got, I don't know, like 8 minutes left, and there's actually other things that happened in the cult beyond the Runiverse game, and I just want to have a chance to touch on those before we end the show. Let's see. Okay. So, one really big fun thing that happened this week is Gordon Goner of the Bored Ape Yacht Club, one of the 4 founders. I'm sure you all saw that he went on a huge buying spree of NFTs last week. And what was really funny is like the entire week, we at Magic Machine were watching him buy these, and he didn't buy a wizard. He didn't buy a wizard. He didn't buy a wizard. And then it was like finally at the end of his buying spree, he tweets this amazing tweet about how basically the crowning jewel of his entire NFT buying spree was a Forgotten Runes wizard. It was the Grey Pilgrim, and Gordon basically told the world that Forgotten Runes is his favorite non-Yuga NFT project. And when our team saw that, we all just sort of broke down in tears.
Yeah, we were just beaming with pride. That was a very special moment. So we love you, Gordo.
Yeah.
Love Gordo.
Yeah. And then if it couldn't get any more awesome, soon after that, Beeple, yes, that Beeple, made a piece about Gordon's buying spree and put a wizard in a very prominent spot on this art piece. So
yeah, right at that level.
Yeah, and so like within like a matter of 24 hours, we get a mega shout out from Gordon, and then we get featured in a Beeple piece. This in the midst of our game, just like popping off. It's been a hell of a week.
And then I bought another wizard too.
And Flu bought another wizard, guys.
I'm gonna be a whale one day, Daddy. Let's go.
Yeah. No,
speaking of Daddy though, Dotta, I had a question that was required to be asked of you while I'm up here on stage. It was in the comments on this space. So I apologize for this in advance. When clarification on Words.Art points being mana in the Runiverse?
jeez. None. Never.
What is the utility of Words.Art points?
TBD. You know, we actually had some folks who asked if they could make a token for Words.Art's points, and I said they could do it, but they haven't done it.
That's usually the way it goes. You can never count on others.
Yeah.
Okay, so then and then just a few other things. Bear, is there any comic book updates you want to just briefly mention? Bear, are you still with us? We might have lost Bear actually.
No, I am here.
Oh,
I am here,
okay,
but
okay.
I do have to go see a doctor for a back. No, but the comic books, yes. So, you know, we really need to get Nalgene up here sometimes because he's at the end of the day he's got the finger on the pulse. He's producing this thing. He's doing a great job. Shout out Nalgene. But the update is issue number 2, and all of the craziness. You know, we even posted about it a week ago, and all the craziness. Issue number 2 is actually in pre-sale right now. And so I just sent a couple links in Secret Tower. People were asking. Once the build goes down tomorrow, I think there'll be a little bit more headspace for people to sort of see anything that has some or see things that have nothing to do with the game. So we'll put together another post of where you can order issue number 2. But something to be reminded of is that in issue number 2, we are also going to continue giving out codes to the Runiverse. So that's very exciting. And I think the other thing was, I think now we were initially eyeing November 22nd for the comic books to hit the stores. We have gotten some whispers about it maybe being December 6th now, but we're getting mixed messages. We're also hearing that some are hitting stores. So we're trying to get clarity. I will say the comic book industry still lives in like the Middle Ages. It's shocking. We're gonna have to go after Forgotten Runes, whenever that is. We're gonna go clean up the comic book industry because it's a mess.
But you know, speaking of the comic book too, I think, you know, comic books have a long history of being this kind of like first seed for really big IPs, right? And so I think that's really one of the reasons that we were so interested in this idea, is that because there is like this clear path from like comic book to like television show, for example, if you can have a comic that works. And one of the things I talked about this last week, and I'll probably talk about it next week too, that I love about the comic book is we're actually putting a code in the book for like cosmetics in the game, right?
I just said that.
But I'm elaborating, which is that the cosmetic is basically a rocket from the comic book, right? So the way this cycle works is a microcosm of like the entire project, which is somebody writes lore about their wizard who rides their like firework as a rocket, like a broomstick, right? And that gets written in the book of lore. Then we pull from that and we create a comic book about it. And then we use the comic book as this sort of like real world user acquisition to the video game. And then in the video game, you're able to like ride the rocket from the comic book. And so then the cycle continues. And so, you know, in some sense, it's like so straightforward, right? It's like, yes, you have all these properties and you use them together. But on the other hand, it's like that's the vision, right? The vision is working, where we're building a franchise from the ground up, and we have these different like mediums that reinforce each other.
Decentralized world building. That's how it's done.
And Dotta, you're totally right. That was much more of an elaboration. That was a really good point. But yes, comic books. I could go on a whole rant of why comic books, but we're not going to do that because we have 60 seconds left, and I have to go. But it's very exciting, and there's one hitting, and then there's going to be a gap. The next one will then hit in January because comic book distributors and publishers don't distribute and publish comic books in December. Interesting. So the third one will come in January, and then February, and then so on and so forth.
We're gonna go over time today because I want to hit the Cult Content Chronicle. There's a really special piece in it. So we have more than 60 seconds left, but yeah. So that's the update with the comic. Bear, I know you have to go to the hospital, and Dotta, I know that you're also traveling right now.
I'm
so
good. I'm here.
It's totally fine.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
Guys, I'm gonna sign off. I love you all. Dotta, Elf, love you guys.
Feel better.
Bye, Colt. See you, Flu. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Bearsnake. Get better at life.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, I definitely want to go over the Cult Content Chronicle, week 43, compiled by the illustrious Tanya Del Rio. And this first piece in it is actually very, very special. It's from everybody's favorite Merlin wizard, Merlin, the OG wizard. And he and Markifine teamed up and just made this beautiful illustrated piece that tells the sort of backstory of the singularity. And Merlin is actually giving this away as an NFT to everybody who reaches level 15 in the game. So basically that means Dotta does not qualify. But I know a lot of you have. And so I think all you have to do is just basically DM Merlin with a screenshot of yourself with level 15, and he'll put you on the list to mint one of these just amazing pieces. Merlin, if I didn't get that right, then come up and tell me, but I think I did. But yeah, definitely hit level 15 and you'll get one of these pieces for free. And yeah, just have a look in the Cult Content Chronicle to see what I'm talking about. It's amazing. So yeah, Merlin, thank you so much for doing this. Markifine, the illustrations are awesome. I see stuff like this, Merlin, and I'm just like, I'm so glad that you have the Merlin Wizard because you really are, you're legendary. Okay, speaking of legendary, obviously our very own Magus Wazir, back with some more really fun memes. This meme actually there's more to it than meets the eye. Basically, he's saying that the fireball can do everything. If you haven't played the Runiverse game, you're not going to understand this meme. If you have played, you will fully understand it. Third in the Cult Content Chronicle, Justin has been live streaming like a madman. I have been loving Justin's streams. He's really been streaming a lot of the Runiverse game lately. Justin is quickly becoming one of my favorite cult members. But yeah, if you haven't seen Justin's streams, please check him out. The dude is oozing charisma. Next, we have Artsy shared their very large, I would say, collection of Forgotten Runes loot, maybe. Chief among this collection is some really beautiful work from Chemical Imbalance, especially the rug. Chemical Imbalance is famous for the rugs that they make. They're just some of the best pieces of cult content out there. And then Daniela Illustra was sharing a really fun lenticular print made by Chemical Imbalance. Man, Chemical Imbalance is just full of content these days. Also, Daniela Illustra shared a really fun illustration in progress featuring the founders. Man, I'm actually just now seeing this. This is super cool. Wow.
I look amazing.
You do, Dotta.
Cool one.
You definitely look cooler than Bear in this piece. But I can't see my wizard, so we can't say who's the coolest just yet.
Yeah, it's like Ozempic bear.
But it's a beautiful piece, Daniela. So good. I can't wait to see the finished thing. Shadow Gains Guild has been continuing work on this really cool like town illustration. This like fun isometric illustration of a town in the Runiverse. Yeah, I remember this being shared last week, just the beginning, and there's a lot of progress being made. Maze XBT did a really fun 8-bit style of an imp. I feel like I've seen other versions in this style from Maze XBT, but this one's super cool. And then Almost Josiah recreated his Wagdai character in the Forgotten Rune style. Okay, that's awesome, because when I first saw this warrior, I was like, I do not remember drawing this warrior. And I didn't know it was based on a Wagdai character. That makes it super cool. Yeah, I love it. And then GiorgioBay.eth shared a really fun image of his soul. Super cute. It kind of reminds me of that Plants vs. Zombies game. Super cool. And then To Bells to Breathe showed some really fun art in collaboration with Osmobro of O's Wizard. Dilo shared some more generated art from his blue-skinned wizard. It's one of my favorite heads in the entire collection. Dilo, I love your wizard. Magic Monday News, episode 31 was last Monday. The special guest was Chainlink Bull, and the treat of the week was the meteorite. Cosmic Birds, the meme queen of the cult, made a hilarious meme basically about a wizard going to a party. And he thinks that nobody knows that he's level 15, but they actually do, because it's literally all you talk about.
Wait, is that wizard you?
No, it looks like a Dream Master head.
Guess so.
What, you think I talk about being level 15 that much, Dotta?
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Only in Wizard Wednesday today. But yeah, that's it. Smokey or Bridge, you were up here earlier. Did you guys have a comment or anything? I kind of glossed over you guys today, but maybe not. Okay, I guess that's it. Dotta or
I guess
anyone?
that's it. No, I think I'm good. I'm gonna miss the Runiverse game when it's gone this week. Oh man.
Yes. If anybody is interested in starting a support group for the inevitable withdrawal we're all about to feel after tomorrow, go to the Secret Tower. It's a great place to be with a lot of supportive cult members. That is the official place for the Runiverse support group. Okay, I guess with that, channeling out, this has been Elf Dotta, Matatsuki, Julian Tryhard, Bear, and all of the wizards of the Forgotten Runes Wizards Cult. GN, everybody.
Bye.